Welcome in to
All right.
Super Awesome Podcast. I am Dog Slice, and I am here with Captain Pete.
Yo, what's good?
And as always, from day one, we're here with Butters.
So, dudes,
What
Stop,
the
dude.
what the
Here we
fuck is
go.
going on? What's
Super
going
awesome.
on in your lives? It's been a
I
minute.
fucking caught a fish. It was a good sized fish.
he was pregnant, dude.
It was a catfish. What, you saw the picture of my fish?
Yeah.
It was about that big. Probably like, I don't know, 8 pounds. I was about to give up. I'm surprised I caught it because I got like an old ass fish pole with old ass line. I was on a tiny little hook and I snagged a good sized catfish. Everybody's like, you should fry it up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I ain't got time for that right now. I wasn't thinking. I just wanted to fucking catch one. I didn't want to eat one. And catfish is 50-50 whether or not it's going to taste like dirt.
I don't think I've ever had a catfish that tasted good.
I'm telling you, it's 50-50. It's either like, oh, that wasn't bad, or it's like, oh, that tastes like dirt.
Well, Butters, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Been trying to build a bench in my basement,
What kind of bench?
like a workbench.
Mm. Out of what?
Wood out of some pallets that I stole from work. So they're all oak pallets.
So you're going to be one of those pallet carpenter people that are like, you see all that shit on the internet where they're like, look at all this stuff I made out of pallets. And it's
Well, at
like,
least I'm like planing them out so they're smooth. I'm not just putting a full pallet like on the floor and being like, look, I made a deck. I'm
yeah.
taking them apart and planing them, and so you can actually see the oak.
You see those pallet dudes driving around? They got like a pickup truck with a tiny ass trailer, and they got like a 3-story building worth of pallets on the back of that shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, how much money do you get actually doing that? Because you see them all the time with dangerously stacked pallets.
I feel like you probably get like a couple of bucks per pallet, but I think if you put them through a planer and jointer, you could probably get a lot more.
What if they were smooth?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I ain't buying pallets from you.
Mine are somewhat smooth, but they're decently rough in some spots.
All right, really interesting.
That's quality.
I don't know what you want from me, dude. I'm using a 200-year-old planer.
Yeah.
Well,
What the fuck have you been doing?
I haven't been doing much. I went to a gaming expo recently, last weekend, and didn't buy a single game. Just bought a bunch of decor for the game room and whatnot, but uh, otherwise, pretty uneventful. Just working and hating my life.
Oh yeah, I saw Josh Turner again at the is it the Georgia State Fair? Whatever it is. That was cool.
Well, hot
It's
shit.
like long black time. I can't do Josh Turner voice.
Well, on today's episode of the Super Awesome Podcast,
What do we got today?
we're going to be covering Caravan of Courage, an Ewok adventure. Star
You'll
Wars.
live the adventure. You'll love the heroes.
Premiered on ABC November 25th, 1984. Written by George Lucas and Bob.
Yep.
Produced by Lucasfilms, starring Eric Walker, Aubrey Miller, Warwick Davis, and Debbie Lee Carrington. She's in Total Recall. The narration of this movie is by Burl Ives, and you guys might know him as the Sam the Snowman in the Rudolph movie. Why I have that on VHS.
You just happen to have that on deck.
And believe it or not, this film had a budget of $3 million.
Straight to TV.
You guys have any fun facts for it, or
Couldn't really find shit about this movie. It went straight to TV. I think they were going to try to do somebody wanted to do like a 30-minute thing, and then they got like the okay on a 2-hour made for TV movie.
Yeah, I think I read that nobody was interested in like a half hour one, but ABC was interested in some kind of movie length thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So they took like 30 minutes of actual stuff and stretched it out to 97 fucking minutes.
and boy, did it feel like it.
Yeah. This shit drags for a couple of chunks.
So I had that it is filmed near Skywalker Ranch in Marin County, California.
Hmm.
Marin County? I don't know.
Yeah.
I read that the crashed spaceship or the little cruiser that they had wings of a snow speeder from Empire Strikes Back.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. The film takes place between like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I saw roughly about 6 months before the Battle of Endor or whatever.
Oh yeah, the story is supposed to. I was gonna say this movie came out after Return of the Jedi, but yeah,
Yeah, it's
story is supposed
supposed
to
to
be
take,
in between.
which I don't know if I don't know. It has a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, and there is a sequel to this film.
Yeah, got two of these incredible Ewok movies that we couldn't recommend more.
Butters, your thoughts?
It's also
I
Butters'
recommend it.
idea for
It's
this movie.
decent.
Butters is like, I love this movie. Fuck.
I watched it over 2 days, so maybe it just didn't drag on like it did for
Oh,
you.
you took 2 days? That's probably a better
Yeah,
approach.
that is the better approach because
Because I
boy,
could not pay attention to this shit.
um, well, do we want to just sprint right into this thing?
Let's fucking dive on in. So we're on the Force Moon of Endor, which everybody should
Crashed.
be.
Oh,
Oh, no, I was just never mind. Go for it.
crashed and stranded on Endor. The Tawani family is screwed. After Ma and Pa go missing, the Ewoks stumble on the crashed cruiser and find Mace and Sindel. Mace fucks around and finds out the Ewoks hog time and bring him back to camp, where Sindel befriends fucking Wicket, the friendly Ewok.
Yeah, the Ewok from Return of the Jedi.
They escape in the night only to be chased by a rat werewolf creature thing. And even though he can fit his entire paw into the tree that they're hiding in, they decide this is a good place to take a nap.
Yeah.
They wake up to find the Ewoks fighting the rat critter, and after it is defeated, they find one of their parents' life monitors on it, and then the quest begins.
Yeah.
Thoughts and
Okay.
concerns about the opening?
I hated Sandal throughout that entire movie.
Oh, fuck. Can we talk about the characters for a second? Why does
How about it?
Mace look like Luke so much? It's like, oh, it's a really little Luke. Like, why do that? And also the Sindel, I think both actresses. Sindel is fucking 5 years old in this movie. Why you have that young of a kid? I know the movie's for kids, but I'm like, she's like basically a baby. And
She
the
was killing it, dude. When the Ewoks were getting Mace, she's like, "Don't hurt him. He's my brother.
yeah,
Our
the,
parents are dead. Save
the,
them."
the dialogue is really bad. I'm like, why are you using like basically a toddler for like the one of the main characters? I don't know. It's really annoying. And also, 'cause their parents find the crashed ship, and they're like, "Where are they?" And when the Ewoks are there, like the fucking girl was on the ship. She was like in a cupboard. Like the parents didn't even. They were like,
Animal
"Where are
searching.
they?" Fucking 1 second
And
later,
this-
I guess they're not here.
In this giant spaceship. It's like built for 4 people. It's like-
Yeah, you said it was a snow speeder, but there's like a bunch of room on the inside.
no, I think it's just the wings. The wings are from the snow speeder. Like it's
Oh, like
just like probably like a
they
little
crammed it
Easter egg.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying.
wanted more backstory on where this family was coming from and why Mace was such a military-esque kid.
Yeah, he's also a dick. He like loses his temper. He's like, "I'm a fucking," and then
Dude, there I feel like this movie does a lot of like I don't know, like they try to do something or pull some emotional strings without having a setup.
Yeah.
So they'd have this like the score playing to make it be like, why don't you ever talk about our parents? Like they've been dead for years. And he's just like, I just
You
wish
saw
we
him
could have
earlier
been.
that day.
Yeah, it's like, wish I could have been the son that they always wanted. And like, I don't know. I just feel like there was no setup to then make me feel any kind of way about any character.
Yeah.
Just
Dialogue
bad.
is just real fucking bad. And the little Luke is like, it's also kind of just a weird, like, there's no, you got two characters that are little kids. They're the only ones that speak fucking English. The Ewoks are like, you know what I mean? They're like, there's like this language barrier.
We had the subtitles on, and every time the Ewok spoke, I would read the subtitles, but it
Yeah, I
would
was doing
just
the same.
be Ewok gibberish.
Yeah,
But I kept
Ewokese.
doing it, kept reading them every time.
Ewokies, yeah.
But I will say the Ewoks pick up on English like real quick.
Yeah,
Like they can understand what they're saying, like pretty much.
Spaceship crash.
yeah. That was one of my issues with it. I mean, one of many, but it's supposed to be set like 6 months before all that, but they act like they've never seen humans before
Yeah.
when the boys land there, and none of them speak any English, so it's just got a
I
silly.
was telling Sheba that it was like me trying to talk to my boy Cheech at work.
Yeah.
Anytime I try and speak English to him, he'll try and repeat what I'm saying in a very goofy way.
Also, want to point out they had like regular animals
Oh yeah, I thought
on
that
the
was weird.
farm at the camp or whatever,
Yeah,
and I
it's
was
just like
like, I don't know, maybe they just ran out of budget, but I'm like, you can't have like normal Earth critters.
yeah, it was like a weasel and there was like an owl, just normal
I
stuff.
think they had a horse. Like at
No,
one
the
point, they were like
horses
horseback riding.
they're like little horses, but they didn't try to make them not look like
I don't even make that connection.
just horses. It's
Yeah,
fucking
That there's
Star
no
Wars.
horses.
They're supposed to be like not Earth horses.
Yeah, I'm guessing they probably just ran out of
Like they're supposed to
budget
be riding lizards and stuff.
yeah, something like
They
that.
could have at least painted the horses like green or something to make them more Star
That's a
Warsy.
horse of a different color.
But
They did have that one horse scene. I don't know. I can't remember where it was in the movie, but like the Sindel gets trapped and then it just runs off, and dude's like, "We have to help her. We have to save her." And they went and like chased her down, and they come back, and he's like, "Oh my god, like I love you, Ewok man, for saving my sister." I don't just fucking dialogue is abysmal.
real bad.
uh,
Um,
but
should we talk about like their first dilemma? So the Ewoks they meet up with the Ewoks. They're in their little camp, but then Sindel is like all sick
Oh yeah,
all of a sudden.
That didn't add to the story at all.
yeah. There's
No,
nothing.
She kept
it's just
complaining.
yeah. She's just like, oh, I'm sick, so they got to get this like magic shit, this magic liquid, because they ran out, and they got to go get more to make her not sick. That's like their first
Didn't
adventure.
explain why she was sick.
No, and she's just like,
My belly feels sick. I'm sick. Oh my god.
it's
Dang it,
so
Sybil.
fucking annoying. She's like, I'm sick. And it's like,
I mean, she could have just had a bellyache from eating something funny, but Mace was totally freaking out. You gotta help her.
yeah. So they go get more of the magic juice, and then she's just better or something.
This is the way.
Or wait, when do they run into the big stop motion monster? Is that when they're trying to get the juice? Or yeah, that's before they take off on horseback.
Trying to. Are you talking like the lizard or not the lizard, the rat critter? That
After Sindel gets better, they
yeah, they like
in the
escape in the
night.
night.
Yeah,
they're like, we're busting out of here, and then the rat shows up.
Yeah,
yeah. Which didn't look great, by the way.
it didn't age well. I saw something about like they use this is like one of the last films that used like a certain kind of stop motion animation, and they went to more of a I think it's called a blurred motion. I didn't write that down in the fun facts because I didn't care, but
Yeah.
I did see that. So
Stop motion wasn't all that great. But and then somewhere along the line we learn about Gorax. Is it Gorax or Borax? Not Borax. Gorax.
well,
All right, here we go.
if we're moving on. All right, so they seek out to find the super wizard Ewok, Logray, I believe his name is, who tells them that their parents have been taken by Gorax, the monster guy.
Yeah.
So the caravan of Ewoks is formed. On their journey to Mordor, the Fellowship runs into a great warrior named Chukka Trock. He proves his worth with an axe throwing contest and joins the squad. Also, they meet some pixie lady named Izarina.
Oh, the fucking Tinkerbell.
Yeah,
That shit was so stupid. I was like,
yeah,
what in the fuck? It's like, oh, this is Tinkerbell, and now it's flying around, and he's like, they're like, oh my, that was like a really long section of
Yeah, that was
nothing.
another scene that didn't really add. And why did Sindel need that candle? Were they evil creatures that were going to kill them?
Yeah,
And
she takes the candle out, and then they all go into the candle. None of it's explained, and none of
it's a
it's
lot
really
of nonsense.
necessary.
yeah, why did she need to trap them into
Yeah,
the candle?
I think they eat giggles. I was like, oh my god. He tried to give it like Ewok food. The little Tinkerbell's like, out of fuck.
I
That part made me
noticed
really want to kill myself.
a lot in this movie. Around the time when he had that fairy in his hand, he'd be like, "It's one of those lights," and then switch camera angles, and he'd be like, "It's one of those lights." I think to get like a better segue from camera angles, they'd have them say the line twice. But whoever was doing the editing didn't get the memo and would just not edit the second part of the line. And so they would say
Yeah,
it twice every time they changed camera angles.
no, Mace. He says he repeats himself a ton of times in the movie,
Mhm.
and I don't know if that's on purpose
Oh,
or what.
the rock. He's given that like mystic rock, and he's like complains about it for 10 minutes, and he's like, "It's just a stupid fucking rock," and then he throws it, and then Wicket picks it up. But I swear he complained about that rock in like 3 or 4 different scenes, like in order. He's like, "Why would they give me this stupid rock? It's just a stupid rock.
Yeah,
It just doesn't make any sense."
every little tool that they were given had a purpose or whatever. Like when he fell in the magical water and he couldn't get out from underneath, which would be horrifying by them.
Yeah, I
You
thought
just
that was a cool scene.
yeah, but it's like not explained, and it's like, wait, we can't get him out. The magic stick. Go get the magic stick. That'll help.
Yeah.
And then it worked. It's like, okay, magic stick, magic water, got him out, no problem.
I thought that was going to be handled differently because when he first goes in, they're over there like playing catch in the background, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how he's going to get out of this. And then it
They're
cuts
like,
back.
oh fuck.
Then it cuts back to Sindel, and she's just like, my brother. And I'm like, wasn't your back just turned? Like you weren't paying
No,
attention.
how did
This.
anybody know that he
Yeah,
fell in the water?
silly.
It's fucking sibling intuition or something. I don't know. If my sister fell in some water, she'd be dead. I would never know.
I thought the Ewoks were going to start hating Mace because he was always a damsel in distress at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Well, he's also kind of a dick to him the whole time.
Yeah, he's
like, what
kind
are
of a
you
huge
doing?
asshole.
That's my sister.
All right, so we got the magic rock, magic fairies, magic stick, magic water. None of
All
it
right, so
explained.
yeah, they got their squad. They added to it. They got their warrior Ewok guy. So then they go off on their journey, and once they reach the Gorax home place, they play a nice game of hide and seek. And while Gorax is distracted, they free their parents in the most unnecessary.
Wait, forgot about the
way.
spiders. The spider part.
That's part of it. Yeah, I guess you got to cross the
They cross
spider
the
web cavern.
yeah, and he's got the other magic stick with the glowing end to hypnotize the spider.
You completely skipped my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
What did
What is it, Butters?
Where they break into that mountain.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Where they shoot the laser
Yeah, so he
and it
uses
makes
the rock, he breaks it, and a little arrowhead comes out. And the arrowhead goes to a rock, and he says, "How are we gonna move that rock? It could be 20 tons." And he goes, "I know. I'll use my laser gun," which, why the hell does he have this gun? He's like 10. And he shoots it, and it explodes incredibly. It's a giant boulder. And then his reaction is just,
it
well,
also made like a perfect circle and like, it's just
he just
no
backs
crazy
up
rubble.
slightly. It's
I
like
also
I
on a
did it.
TNT that goes off.
I I also had a problem with that because his gun in most Star Wars, the guns go pew 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 pew, like laser bullets at a time. He just like held down the trigger one solid beam, and it was like, and then like blows up the rock. I'm like, that's not how most Star Wars guns work.
That scene made me laugh.
Yeah.
Just their reaction to that explosion killed me.
I also had a fucking issue with or not an issue, but okay, so there's the spiders. They hypnotize one of the spiders with the green glowing rock stick. But then another spider comes at him and the Ewok is underneath it and he just pulls out his knife and stabs it in the chest. I was like, that got way more violent than everything else in this movie all of a sudden. He just straight like right into the abdomen of
Well, they jumped on the rat critter's back at the beginning of the movie and like speared it in the back a bunch.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, yeah, so they free their parents again in the most like elaborate way possible. Once the Gorax realizes what's going on, Chukatrak knows that he must pay the ultimate price, sacrifice himself.
Fucking died.
He suffers fatal wounds from the battle and gives his axe to Mace as he dies. The Gorax chases the squad and gets knocked down in the cavern, thought to be defeated, but he comes back for more. And then Mace takes that axe and just throws it at him, and then he really falls for real.
Whacked you again.
The day is saved, and the family stays with the Ewoks until the ship is repaired, and they go home. The end.
All right. My thing with the
Home,
Gorax,
where are they coming from?
their
What?
ship is still all fucked up.
I don't know how they're repairing their ship. I mean, I guess
I
their
don't know.
ship could probably have some tools on it, I suppose.
But the Gorax, what I don't understand about the Gorax is that he captured their parents and then just put them in like a little box. That was it. What's he doing with them?
Yeah, he's like playing with them or something. But no, I had that fucking escape scene where they like get the rope. He climbs up there, and then the Ewok climbs up there, and then they like lower their parents. Or no, then he goes back down, and like Ewok's like holding the rope or something, and then the
Yeah.
parents go down, and then the Ewok goes down, and I'm like, why didn't we just tie the rope? Like we throw you the rope, you tie it, and then you guys just come down. Why did everybody go up so that then they could all come back down?
Come back down.
I was like, what are we doing?
And I kept thinking that the Gorax was misunderstood.
He's got the
Boy, he like eats
fucking-
Ewoks.
He had a house, a stone house that had a table and a fireplace with carved steps in it. So clearly he's an intelligent person.
Yeah.
I think he was misunderstood. Either that or his parents were intelligent and he was like simple-minded. And he was just living there by himself after he murdered his parents.
He did play some fun hide and seek with the Ewok critter, Wicket. And that's fun. But I gotta
Definitely
say,
looked like Cade when he was drunk.
I was
Wait, what? I look like the Gorax? The fuck?
Remembered Cade as the Gorax.
gonna say that dude's hair was phenomenal, and I'm jealous.
But yeah,
Maybelline commercial.
I didn't understand like the Gorax. He eats Ewoks, whatever, and then he didn't just immediately eat their parents.
Does he eat Ewoks?
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
eating a
that's-
giant bone on his pretty nice table.
But that bone was huge.
Yeah, it was a giant bone. So why is he eating little
I'm
human
saying I don't
creatures?
know. I feel like Ewoks are like mice to this dude.
Yeah, you
I don't know if
want
he's eating them.
you want to eat whatever giant creature that he got.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Ewoks are like a delicacy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, shit.
I'd eat an Ewok.
Oh,
Or should we not eat Ewoks? I don't know. They were gonna eat Han
yeah, they were
Solo,
gonna eat Han Solo.
so yeah.
Serves him right.
Serves them right. By God.
I will say I think the Ewoks don't look as good in this movie as Return of the Jedi. Like I don't know if it's different costumes or whatever, but I feel like the faces were
I will say, like
like
in certain
didn't look.
scenes, they definitely look like I don't know, like Halloween costumes.
Yeah, they didn't look as convincing as Return of the Jedi. And I know
I
that's like a
will
big movie versus TV or whatever.
I will say I did read that they were the first suits to have like blinking eyes like as a feature in the mask or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess they didn't have blinking eyes in the original release, but since they've like in the regular trilogy, they've like digitally added blinking
Mm,
to the Ewoks for
of course.
some reason. Yeah. So, well, yeah,
Yeah. So
that's,
they get the parents and it's pretty much done. They're like, that Ewok is dead. I'm sad for a second, but we are back with our parents, and then the movie ends. This whole movie.
it was pretty abrupt. I felt like it was
No, it
like,
just kind of ends.
oh, I did want to say one thing. So okay, so when they're leaving the place, they killed the Gorax or whatever, and it's like, yeah, we did it, and they're heading home. They they like throw the rope because they destroyed the spider web that they were able to travel across the first time.
Yeah.
And so they use the rope to swing back, and so Mace swings over, and then he like just lets go of the rope, and then it's like, oh, Sendo, hello, and then it just cuts to the next person swinging, and I'm like, based on our time at the river, you gotta fucking whip that
You
thing.
really got to swing the rope.
Yeah, I feel like you just left everybody stranded. Um, and
Well,
it,
maybe
it
they,
takes it takes some finesse to get the rope back over there.
well, maybe
That's
they
all.
jumped real far. And they just jumped to the rope.
What a jump you want to make when you could just flick it back. Oh,
Oh, what in the fuck?
Captain, you're gone.
Shit.
No, I see is a little kitty cat.
I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to switch cameras probably. Ah! All right. All right. Something fucked up with my camera situation. Now I'm all blurry and shitty. Anyway, we're gonna do ratings.
Yeah, let's
Super
get into
awesomes.
our super awesome ratings. Butters, do you have your super awesome ratings prepared?
I give it a solid 5.
5 super awesomes.
I think if I saw this movie when I was a little kid, I would have been all about it.
Yeah, I'd say a kid would. Well, I don't know about a kid nowadays, but if you saw this back in the day as a kid, it'd be kind of cool. But you'd have to be a pretty young fucking kid
You
because,
probably have to be Sendel's age to appreciate.
yeah, you'd have to be really, really young kid for this not suck. But my super awesome scale, I give it uh, like a 4. 4 super awesomes. It's not very super awesome. Pretty boring. Uh, Dialogue is atrocious, and yeah, I mean, it kind of drags on, and the kids are not like the two main characters are not likable. I think like the
It
idea of
was
this
Sandal.
movie, the idea of this movie could have been cool because it's the '80s. You got shit like the Goonies going on and everything. Like if it was done better, it could be cool, but it's not. But now I kind of have to watch the other one to see if it's any better. What is it?
I
It's called like the Defensive Vendor or whatever the fuck.
Something like that. I said this movie felt like more of a fantasy movie set in a Star Wars place. I mean, I know Star Wars is fantasy, but this feels like a more like a D&D campaign more more so than like a Star Wars tale.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think it's really executed that well. I was pretty bored while watching it. Um, but I weirdly kind of want to watch the sequel.
No, gotta watch the
Not
next
sure
one.
why I want to. I
Just
give
see
it a
what's better.
3.7 super awesomes. It does have a better rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's like a 54%.
Mm.
So who's to say? Did you guys have any final thoughts on this at all?
Final thoughts. I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you're pretty much obligated to watch this shit. Just to be like, I've watched everything Star Wars. But if you're just a casual person thinking of watching something, don't watch this. You will not be entertained.
That's fair.
That's my final. Butters, what's your final thought?
I think it was all right. I didn't like Sindel. They needed more backstory on the
Everything?
whole family and why Mace could throw an axe really well and why the hell he had a bazooka laser gun.
Yeah.
But
Why
if I
why
was,
he's in a flight suit type thing?
yeah,
Like
like,
none of
did they
that's
just
explained.
escape like the rebellion?
Yeah. I don't know.
But
Like
other than that,
why
if
is
I
the
was
family
like
there?
5 years old, I would have been all about this movie.
I think it'd be worth showing to your children if you have them. Like I'd show this to Bo. I'd leave the room promptly, but I would show it to
You
him.
gotta get the
Yeah.
VHS series.
I'm
I bet
surprised
the
more shit like this doesn't exist. Like there's only two Ewok movies, two spin-off things. With how popular,
Tunes.
Star Wars was, or the first three movies were. I'm
Mhm.
surprised there's not a lot more shit like this. But honestly, the fucking Ewoks are the worst part of Return of the Jedi, if you ask me.
Would you rather watch this again or any episode of The Acolyte?
Oh god, the Acolyte fucking sucks. Uh, I don't. I do I have to watch either of them? I'd rather not watch either.
I just wanted to ask to troll.
I'd say the Acolyte probably is more entertaining. It's not as fucking dull, but it like as a story and everything, it's just as shitty as this.
I thought this movie was better than Star Wars Christmas Special.
I disagree. I think Star Wars Holiday Christmas Special,
It
the
was
the,
ironically entertaining
the
because it was
cartoon.
so ridiculous.
I think the
And the
cartoon
Boba Fett
Boba
cartoon
Fett.
short was dope.
Yeah, that part was actually there is like actual cool parts in that, but for overall, it's really bad too. We got to do one of those in the future on the holiday special.
I'd be down to do the holiday special. I think I can sit through that. I can suffer through.
No, it's so
Mm.
fucking weird that
I've never seen it, so
you have to you keep watching because you're like, what is going to happen next? Because it's such a strange thing.
We'll get it done in time for Christmas.
Yeah, well, that'll be our Christmas special. We'll do the holiday special.
I'm
Right
fine with that.
now.
We could do that. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Next week we're gonna cover. It doesn't even matter. We've already decided. Child's Play 2019.
I was gonna say, did you fucking write?
I just did it. I just did that to do it. But all right. Well, that's it for this episode of the Super Awesome Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and find us on social media. That hasn't. I don't. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with social media at this point, but see us on there.
All right, super awesome podcast. Fucking right back at it. Picked up where we left off. Fucking better than ever. All right, I'm gonna fucking hit stop recording.